fathers do this really important thing, which is they help the baby to learn to regulate certain emotions. So mothers help to regulate sadness, fear, distress. Fathers help to regulate excitement and aggression. So when fathers aren't in the house, when there are single mothers raising children without a father, often little boys develop behavioral problems, is what we're seeing, that they can't regulate their aggression because fathers help little boys in particular, but little girls too, to regulate aggression. So when fathers aren't around, you'll often see little boys who are more impulsive, who are more aggressive. So the answer is fathers and mothers are both critical to the development of children, which is a very controversial thing to say today,
Right.
because if you're raised without one, you are missing a piece, but they're not the same. And they're not the same because our hormones dictate they're not the same. So fathers produce a hormone in great quantities called vasopressin.
Right.
Vasopressin is the protective aggressive hormone. And what does it do? It helps fathers to protect their family. Fathers.
If,
What up, dude? This your boy Peanut, the People's Nut, man, the practitioner of life, giving helpful advice, and we back with another one, man. This is for all the misandrists and all the feminists out there that say, "What are men useful for?" And all of these women that have the notion that it would be a better place without men in the world. The manosphere has been having this discussion for years and years and years. Even the men's rights activists been having this discussion for years. But now mainstream media is starting to take it way more serious than they did in the past because men's problems are not happening in the vacuum. They positioned it as a male loneliness epidemic, and so many women were cheering that men are suffering. Finally, we're dismantling the patriarchy, not understanding the effects that it will have on society and other people. That not having strong, productive, masculine male in society, your society will crumble. I don't care what all of these women think that just because now that they can make money that they're going to be able to do it on their own. But let's jump into a few of these clips that's highlighting the importance of just having a male presence. And it doesn't even have to be your father, but that's why so many single mothers start to put their kids into sports because they want them around positive male role models. But let's jump into this. First off, salute to this teacher and salute to this man for putting his own life in danger to help others and sacrifice himself or potentially sacrifice himself to protect others. In that video, that was a video of a young man that wanted to inflict harm on other people at school because he was hurting. But you see how a positive male role model or a male just acknowledging them and being there and hugging them, you can tell that young man really needed something from a positive male role model. You see the way he hugged him, you see the way that he embraced that man, is because he's missing something. But so many women take for granted, so many modern feminists and modern misandrists take for granted the roles that men play in society, and they keep trying to push men out of the way. And that's why you keep hearing all these different discussions with Terrence Howard talking about you don't want to give up your manhood. So many men like Jordan Peterson pushing, so many men like Steve Galloway trying to sound the alarm that you don't want a rise of weak men out here. So many women think that they're being controlled by the patriarchy or males and all this other stuff. You don't want to see what will come if you have a society full of weak men that feel like they don't have any stake in society, or that they're just disposable, or like just a run of the mill. You don't want a society full of those men. they go crazy. You don't want a society full of men that can't partner up with a woman. I feel bad for so many young males coming of age and looking at online and how women view men and how women view masculinity. It's just patriarchy this, men are so toxic, men are this. And the only time toxic masculinity is rewarded is in situations like this.
Yeah, boss, how are you?
Now, both men and women can agree that that masculinity was was needed. Like, but so many women only want that toxic masculinity when it benefits them in that direction. Like, that's the only time they respect a man's masculinity is when it's directed towards someone else. Women have to accept to be a masculine man comes with all it's all encompass. It's not just when it benefits you. It's order, it's structure, it's a bunch of stuff. You ladies can't pick and choose when you want masculinity to benefit you. But ladies, if you want men to go back to their rightful position of protecting you, especially in public, because so many women think that men are only protecting, like, I know a lot of feminists will say, well, he was protecting her from the man. And if men weren't there, it was like, yes, that's what men keep trying to explain, that it's going to be the good men that protect you from the bad men, because bad men are going to be there. You can't eradicate all men. You can't eradicate all bad men. It's free will. It's the way the world is set up. So for you to protect yourself, you should partner with a good man, or don't demonize good men or make good men feel bad for doing their masculine duties and protecting women and the innocent and children, because bad men will be bad men regardless if there are good men. So if you get rid of all men, or men, as that one girl said in this one clip, I wish that we had a curfew, or men had a curfew, as if bad men are going to listen to having a curfew. You're just giving bad men free range to mess with you on the streets and do whatever they want to do. But so many ladies have this utopia mindset of how they want the world to be instead of accepting how the world is. So until you start accepting how the world is, you're always going to be in this perpetual state of being angry at men. And it's not all men. It's only a small minute of men that cause the harm, that do the SAN, that do the sexual assault and all that other stuff. It's only a small men that do that stuff. But then you have the good men that help and defend you ladies to protect you. So when you get online bashing men or criticizing men, you make those good men not want to do that for you. I hope you ladies understand that. But let's look at this next clip, this interaction between his uncle and his YN, and how it all play out. Let's jump into it. Ladies, you really are hurting your children, especially your young males. You're not picking a good male to be in the kid's life. These young men need that structure. They need that challenge from a male. They need that order and just his presence. It does something for the young male to see a positive male role model and how to really navigate his masculinity and not turn into a toxic masculinity or project his anger at the world because he didn't have a father to help guide him. So many of you are doing your kids, especially your young boys, a disservice by picking Pookies and Ray Rays or men that's going to be in and out of jail, and then all you're doing is continuing the generational curses that plaguing the black community. You saw in that thing how that man chastised them. Like, a man's love is like God's love. He's going to correct you, but he also is going to embrace you. So many women coddle these young boys and let them run amok because they can't control them, or they're tyrants. They yell at them. They're like, you gonna be like your daddy, la, 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 la. And they wonder why these kids turn out bad. We're going to do a video on that because that's another discussion that's been going around on the internet right now. Why so many young black boys are not enrolling in college, and we're going to touch on that in another video. But ladies, please, 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 please stop demonizing men and masculinity, because America is suffering from the masculinity crisis, and we've been trying to beat masculinity down, beat men down for being men. And you're wondering why so many young boys are crashing out or turning into YNs, because they don't have that positive male role model in the house, a great example of what a man should be, how to direct that aggression in a positive way, how to take that strength and become a king, not a tyrant, how to take his curiosity, his natural curiosity to want to explore and educate himself and hone that in, and not just in a negative way. But until you ladies really take that into consideration and picking good partners and good fathers and not just relying on the community or some other man to step up to do what you felt to do with the previous man. That's why you have so many women talking about it's stepdaddy season when it should have been father season. It shouldn't never be a stepdaddy season. That should be your last resort because you did everything right the first time. But I'd like to hear from y'all. Do you think America is suffering from toxic masculinity, or is America suffering from the lack of positive masculinity in the home? Make sure you comment down below. But this your boy Peanut, the People's Nut Man. Until next time. Peace.